let's start the, the Q&A.
No, don't apologize, Miriam. Thank you for agreeing to
Thanks to
do
you.
this session for us, and thank you for bearing with me through the technical difficulties. That was great advice. I know on your side you should have the question mark at the bottom, I think, for the questions, and people have started asking questions here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, not right now. There's no questions.
oh, it's
Do
not
you
showing
have?
up on your side?
Uh, no, there's no question right now. I'm not seeing any question. But do you have a question, Saskia?
Yes. Okay, hold on here.
I trick something.
Oh, so I was wondering because you're capable of so many things from the directing to the technical side. So I
Mhm.
was wondering, for your 2021 documentary, are you just directing? Are you just producing? Like, how do you sort of market yourself specifically? Like, what is
Uh,
the one thing you do?
for the first time,
Mhm.
I'm actually just um, only directing. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. Uh, at first, I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna do I'm gonna shoot it, and then I'm gonna edit, and then I'm gonna do all the sound design. And my producer was like, no. Do you want it live? Do you want to die? So I actually, I'm very lucky to have a great cinematographer working with me. And I'm not gonna do my own sound. I ask a lot around, and I find someone who's great. So yes, I'm gonna be working with a team. I'm still like battling to like edit the movie myself. I I love editing so much. I feel like I'm going to do it, but I'm not sure yet. But
Oh,
yeah, for the first time, I will like work with people. And I was so nervous because I was supposed to start on the 14th. And the day before, I was like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna be alone with the actors. They're gonna be people. We did like meet before, like talked a lot, but um, for me, the first day of shooting is gonna be weird. Like not being like behind the camera or not recording my own. But I trust them. I love them, so I know that it's gonna be great.
okay. I think Nyla asked a question about how you go about finding a producer to help you.
Um, okay, for me it was a bit. I'm not really good. How can I say? I'm not really good socially. I'm kind of shy,
Hmm.
so I don't really. I'm always saying to ask for help, write to people, but I did not do that myself for like a long time because I was like too shy to bother people. So I kind of did it on my own for a long time, and really my actual producer wrote to me and said to me, "Oh, Miriam, I saw your short film. Um, do you want to? I would like to produce your feature film." And I that's something that I say also. I don't really have ambition, so it wasn't my ambition to make a feature. I was
Mm-hmm.
very, very happy directing short films, very like on my own and stuff. And it wasn't my plan, but he wrote to me. He said to me, "Okay, Miriam, I think like now is the time for you to do a feature film." And he harassed me for a year, like to each time I was like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm gonna write something. And every 2 months he would write me an email. Hi Miriam, how are you? Did you start something? So, I wrote something. We applied at Téléfilm Canada, and we got the grant. I was
Nice.
so sure, so sure it was not going to happen. That it would be rejected because it's kind of a weird project, and also a bit experimental. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna apply, but it's gonna be rejected, so it's all good. But they said yes, so now I have to do it. So I'm happy because it gave me another challenge, and I love challenge. So
Mhm.
it's all good. So I find the producer because he kind of wrote to me, but yeah,
Okay. Nice.
that's how it happened.
Let me see. I have one more question. Oh, I was curious, because you said you shot on 16
Hmm.
millimeter.
Hmm.
Um, for all of these short films, did you shoot on film?
Yes, yes.
And why film versus like digital?
That's a good question. Actually, it's because when I studied at Concordia, when I started 14 years ago, we were still um, the teacher, and the first year we started with a Bolex, which is a
Oh.
16 millimeter camera. So, that's what I learned when I was studying.
Hmm.
Only on the last year, they were like kind of started with the digital camera, the red, and yeah, I think we had a red camera. But at that time, that's what I learned at school. So when I finished, I was again very lucky to Concordia. I think they still do that, but there was like a student award like at the end of the last year, and I won like a big prize of like a grant at Kodak, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I won like a lot of free film stock. So like
Nice.
I put them like in my freezer, in my mom freezer. I had film everywhere in Montreal, and it actually I did four of my first like the first film that I produced with that. I didn't have to
Okay.
pay for it. Yeah, so that kind of helped. And the fact that I worked at a film lab, like I said, my boss, whose name is Paul Dion, was the best boss ever. I remember for the first film that I produced, I went to his office, and I guess it helped that I was a good employee, but I went to his office and I said to him, look, we don't have a lot of money, but I want to produce that film and I would like to shoot it on film. And could you help me, to have like, to pay less to process and scan the film? And he said to me, "Oh, no worries, you can do it for free. At night you can come." Yeah, he was the best. Like I owe so much to him. Yeah, he was amazing. And after my shift, I would go and scan and do color correcting and for free, literally for free. So yeah,
Wow. Because I know
yeah,
that's an expensive process. So
yeah,
I was going to ask you like how that would affect the budget, but if you got everything for
yeah.
free, that's awesome.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
that was
God.
cool.
Wow. For this project coming up in 20, well, the one that you're supposed to begin in March, you said it's a documentary and it's your first one.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to make the change from narrative to documentary? And are you able to tell us a little bit about what the project is about?
Um, it's kind of I don't know if I can say that, but it's kind of a mix between documentary and fiction.
Hmm.
So we applied as a documentary, but there's a lot of fictional elements because there's actors with non-actors, like working together. So it's not really a shift per se because all of my films, my first film, for example, is called Fly Fly Sadness. It's like a fake documentary that it's setting in like takes place in 80. So I'm keeping my style in a way, but
Hmm.
with like a balance or it's yeah, it's hard to label. It's kind of a documentary, but not really.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but for the application purpose, it kind of worked at the Sodec and the telefilm, kind of, yeah. Because as a fiction, I think it would have been just too weird.
Hmm.
And I can say a little bit about the project, but I'm making kind of a homage or film to my cousins who died more than 10 years ago. She was 14, and I'm making a kind of a homage to her. So
Okay.
yeah, homage to her life, and I'm visiting some places that she affected, and I was also supposed to shoot in Haiti for that
Mm.
film. But now with the lockdown and everything, we don't know. So I'm kind of writing a parallel version of the film.
Hmm.
If the confinement measure are like intense, maybe I will end up doing it all by myself, like with one actor. I don't know. I'm thinking about, we'll see, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about, like, let's say if somebody is doing multiple roles on the film,
Mhm.
because they have this such a small budget, I was curious, like, when you get to the actual set, how do you prioritize your day? So let's say like you have to set up the shot, but then you also have to work with your actors. Like how do you approach that situation? Like
Uh,
if let's say you've done the rehearsals already, but when you're getting to the actual shoot day.
Uh, uh, I'm gonna try to give like two example. When I did the like feature or like my first short films, when I was direct producer cinematographer,
Hmm.
I had assistant producer like on the set. I prepared everything, but the assistant would like be there to answer questions, so I could focus on the camera work. Like
Okay, okay.
uh, when I was like more than like the producer, or cinematographer, and director, I did rehearsal with the actors and all of the production stuff, and it was kind of difficult, yeah, to deal with all of that. But I mean, when you do it and you like focus, it's not, I was not running around like everywhere and going crazy because I'm very, very, very prepared. So,
Hmm.
on the set, everything is calm. There's no, if there is a crisis, it's inside. Nobody knows anything. I it's crazy because people tell me that I always look very peaceful and calm on set, but inside it's like, oh my God, what's going on? So try try to stay focused. But again, if you are prepared, it's like a fortress around you.
Hmm.
You know your thing. You know what to do if there's a problem. You know to call. And again, the team, the actors. I work with actors also that I've known for years,
Hmm.
so they know. Like, on small project when I did like too many things. Uh, I worked, like I said, on silent set. So the actor knew that they were doing the action and not talking. And I filmed them in a way that you don't see their mouths.
Right.
So when you
Okay.
do the matchup, there's no syncing problem because you don't see their mouths. So that was like kind of a workaround that I find. But yeah, you need to prepare in advance and then face the chaos of the the set.
Just go with the
Yeah,
flow, basically.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. I think that's all of the questions from my side. I don't know if the questions are showing up on your end.
No, there's like commentary, good commentary, but no question.
Yeah. We have about, oh, That's why a strict schedule and rehearsals are key. So we have about, I want to say, 6 minutes before it cuts us off.
Do you want
Because it,
do you want to say something meaningful? What do you want to
sorry?
say? Do you want to say something?
Or no, no, I just want to make sure we don't get cut off.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
somebody asked, what is your favorite role to film?
Okay.
Like, of
Now
all.
it's gonna be a bit weird, but it's sound design.
Oh, okay.
I love
Really?
it. I love it because what I do is I edit the sound first. Like for all of my project, I edit the sound, the soundtrack, the dialogue, the music, and then I edit the image
Wow.
after. Yeah,
That's a
but
backwards process.
no,
Wow.
yeah, I really love sound. I love I love doing camera work as a DOP, but sound design is like a favorite of mine. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Is there another question?
Something.
Why do the sound first? Um,
Why did that?
it's simple. I'm kind of very sensitive to sound. When I go to in a place and there's like a lot of people in the same space, my mind kind of go crazy because I try to figure out like the source of every sound. So that's why
Mm.
I avoid going to places where you know there's a lot of people. And for me, it's easier to when the story work only with the sound, without the images, it means that the story works. You know,
Ah, that's
it
good.
you,
Yeah.
you know you don't need the images because it works. So for me, I always start with the sound, and then I'm very focused. I know what it's about. I know the effect that I created without images, and then I
Hmm.
feel confident to edit the images on top. But that's the way my mind works. So that's why I do the sound first.
That's really interesting. Oh my goodness. Because normally everybody says you set the pacing with the picture editing and then the
Well,
sound
for
just
me,
kind of comes in as the backup.
starting just with the images, it gives me anxiety. It's just like, it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That's a really good tip, Miriam. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I want to, I don't know if we got to everybody's questions, but I don't want us to get cut off. And Miriam,
But if you have question, like I said, just write to me. I
mhm,
will answer all of them, even if you think that it's a stupid question. There are no stupid
there's no
questions.
stupid questions.
We
Yeah.
are all here to learn, and we are maybe it's a bit naive thing to say, but we are here to help each other. So I'm always there to help if you need any help. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Miriam. And I know we want to do, once this lockdown is over, we definitely would like to
Yeah,
take you
sure,
up on
sure,
that,
sure.
doing another session. This was fantastic.
Good.
So many just nuggets of wisdom there. So thank you again for bearing with us with the technical difficulties
Yeah, I will try to
and
figure out Instagram. What's this about?
what's happening. I'm going to do the same on my end. But I'm glad we were able to pull this off and get everybody to come over here. Thank you to everybody at home who joined us in this
Yeah,
session
thanks
and
to
who
you.
bore with us. So thank you again, Miriam, and everybody just stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good
Yeah.
evening. And
Bye,
we will
take
try to
care.
upload this another time.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.